What if I told you you're only 6 months away? 6 months away from the life you've always wanted, the business you've always wanted, the revenue goals you've always wanted to hit. What if I told you all of that was only 6 months away? See, in my own career over these last 8 years, I quit my job for the last time in October of 2017, and I've been an entrepreneur ever since then. But if I'm really honest with myself, I can identify 4 periods of 6 months, 4 short periods of intensity that created the majority of the results that I have today. The majority of the success that I have today came from those 4 short 6 month periods of intensity. And the rest of the time over these 8 years, 6 years of my 8 years has been spent in what I would describe as maintenance or consistency. And so 2 out of my 8 years, 20% of my time has created 80% of the results that I have today. And so throughout my career, I've used these periods of time, these short 6 months of intensity to create enormous leaps forward. And so no, you're probably not going to achieve everything you've ever wanted in a short 6 month period, but you are going to get a hell of a lot closer to where you need to be in order to achieve it. You will turn yourself into more of the person that your future self needs you to be in order to achieve those goals. And so to be candid with you, I wanted to make this video today because I'm about to use these next 6 months to take another giant leap forward in my career. And I wanted to share with you the rule book that I've used time and time again whenever I'm about to go into one of these intense periods of 6 months that have helped me make enormous progress in the past. Before I get into the rules that I'm going to be following over these next 6 months, I need you to kind of buy into this philosophy, this idea of short, intense periods followed by long periods of maintenance and consistency, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs have in their mind that they're going to be able to progress 100% of the time, 365 days of the year for multiple years in a row without understanding that that is quite literally impossible. And one of the easiest ways to demonstrate this, or where I learnt this initially, is from my experience with endurance sport. For those of you who don't know, I love racing Ironmans, marathons, ultramarathons, basically anything ultra endurance. I love racing. And one of the things you'll learn very quickly if you get into endurance sport is that most endurance athletes aren't actually trying to gain fitness most of the year. In fact, most endurance athletes spend a huge majority of their time in maintenance mode, where all they're trying to do is hold on to the fitness that they currently have. Tick the box each week to do just enough hours to not go backwards. And if you chart this out over a graph, you would have time on the x-axis and you would have progress on the y-axis. And what this ends up looking like over a period of years, let's say this is a 3-year period. And so what they end up doing is they have these short 12-week blocks heading into a race. And then they'll have an actual lull period where they take a little bit of a break, and then a period of maintenance. And this period of maintenance is where they're just trying to make sure that they're not going backwards in terms of their fitness. And then they'll have another period where they go into a 12-week sprint, into a race, a lull period, and back down into maintenance. And if you chart this out over a period of time, they're getting fitter, but most of their fitness is happening in these short 12-week periods. Now, in terms of fitness, it's obvious because you have to manage fatigue, you have to manage training, you have to not get injured, you have to manage motivation because it's not always motivating to train in periods of time where you don't have a race coming up. But in terms of business, sometimes we forget as entrepreneurs that we're not machines. We don't have this ability to run at 100%, 100% of the time. We are going to have to step back occasionally into these maintenance mode periods where we're actually just trying to hold on to what we already have. For me, over these last 18 months, if I can be perfectly honest with you, all I've been trying to do is hold on to what I currently have. I've been in maintenance mode, but now going into these next 6 months and with the rules that I'm going to share with you in the rest of this video, I plan on once again having one of these 12-week periods into a race, into an Ironman, into a marathon, or in terms of your business, into a revenue target, into a launch, into a product launch, into whatever it is that you're going to use at the end of these 6 months to motivate these next 6 months of action. And so let's get into the rules that I use and what I'm going to be doing personally over these next 6 months in order to create this period of intensity that's going to help me take a quantum leap forward in my career once again. Rule number 1, and the crucial first step on this list, is you need to create a finish line that's going to motivate these next 6 months. Just like the endurance athlete might have a PB marathon or a PB Ironman or a PB distance that they're trying to run at the end of this 12-week training block, you need a goal that's going to motivate your actions over these next 6 months. And the way you're going to do this is you're going to choose a 6-month goal that is just outside of your reach. And the reason it needs to be just outside of your reach is it needs to motivate your actions beyond what you're currently doing. You need to know once you've set this goal that if you do what you've already been doing, what you've been doing in this maintenance mode period that you've been in, that if you continue doing just that, you will not achieve this goal. I know that if I want to hit my 6-month goal, my finish line that I've set for these next 6 months, I will not hit my goal unless I at least double the output that I'm currently doing. And to be candid with you, just so we're on the same page, my goal over these next 6 months in order to motivate these next 6 months is I want to hit $1 million month before the end of the year. It's May 28th as I'm making this video. You guys will see this on the 30th of May. Between June 1st and December 31st this year, I want to try and hit $1 million month. That is my 6-month goal. Can I achieve that by continuing to do what I've already done for the last 18 months in maintenance mode? Absolutely not. Will I have to double my output in order to achieve this? Absolutely. Does a lot need to change about the way I'm doing business and the way I'm doing everything in order to achieve this goal? Absolutely. But that's the point. And so if you want to take this seriously, if you really want to do this, if you want to be a different person at the end of these 6 months, you need to choose a finish line, a 6-month goal that feels completely out of reach to what you're doing right now. For some of you who want to grow your brand, maybe it's the amount of videos or a follower count you want to hit. For some of you trying to grow your business, maybe it's a revenue amount or the amount of customers or the amount of launches that you want to run in this next 6-month period. Whatever it is, set a goal that feels out of reach or out of touch to what you're currently doing or what you currently had planned for these next 6 months. The feeling you should get right now as you set this goal is a genuine 50-50 at most chance that you're going to hit this. If you feel like it's reasonable that you could hit this goal, you haven't thought big enough. You should genuinely be worried, and I am worried, announcing to you guys that I want to try and make $1 million in a single 30-day period before the end of the year. I am nervous because I genuinely don't know if that's possible for me. I do not know that even if I do everything right, even if I take all the steps necessary, even if I double, triple, quadruple my output over these next 6 months, I know that that's still may be out of reach for me. But that's a good thing because that will then motivate the actions that I need to take over this next period of time in order to maximize the potential. Because that's the goal here. This is a period of intensity. We're not trying to do the same thing. We're out of maintenance mode. We're now in a 12-week block leading into a race day. Rule number 2 is I clear my plate and clear my path. This is my process of going through my day-to-day, some of the things that I'm already doing, whether it's stuff in my business, whether it's stuff in my personal life, whether it's stuff in my own time, my fitness, my training, whatever it is. I go through that process and I clear things off. I eliminate things from my plate so I have more time to commit to the goal that I'm trying to achieve over this next period of time. And the best way that I've found to do this is by actually deciding what you're willing to get worse over these next 6 months in order to maximize the amount you can work on your primary goal. For me, it's actually, ironically, because I've used the analogy of training in this video, but it's my training. I've cut back on the amount of training that I expect myself to get done each week in order to give myself more time and mental space to work on my business. I've dropped my training back to basically lower amounts than I've ever had in the past 5 years because I'm putting priority focus on my business. And so for all of you right now, you have multiple things that you focus on in your day-to-day, whether it's your relationships, your social life, your health, your fitness, your nutrition, whatever it is, you have things each day that consume your mental energy and your time. And if you can take a few of those things and find ways to minimize the amount of time that you're spending on them temporarily in order to maximize this goal, you will immediately free up hours that can then be reinvested back into more intensity towards the finish line that you're prioritizing, towards the goal that you're trying to achieve over these next 6 months. Rule number 3 is to embrace the intensity and expect more of yourself. See, one of the things that I find most beneficial about these short 6-month periods of intensity is that I know going in that they're not going to last forever. And so I'm okay with an imbalance. I'm okay with the fatigue. I'm okay with the intensity because I know it's not going to last forever. And I know the benefit of these 6-month periods will carry long after the 6 months is over. I know that my next area of maintenance, my next ability to coast and enjoy the fruits of my labor, I'll be a hell of a lot higher in terms of my output than I am right now. And so I know that these next 6 months, although imbalanced and although intense and although exhausting, will be worth it on the other side. And so I know this is kind of like a little bit of a platitude and more of a mindset than a tip, But you have to know going in that it is going to be imbalanced. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be intense. Your life is going to be imbalanced, but it's worth it because if you do this right, if you take a huge step forward in your career, your next period of maintenance mode is going to be achieving a hell of a lot more than you are right now. What will be impossible for you to do right now will be easy for you to do in the future as a result of this 6-month period. And so go into this period with the knowledge that yes, this is going to be intense. Yes, it's going to be imbalanced. Yes, it's going to demand more of me than I've ever done before, but that's okay because it's not going to last forever. Rule number 4 is to disappear. If your current life is not leading you towards where you want to go, you are going to have to disappear temporarily in order to create a degree of separation between who you used to be and who you want to be. Everything about your current life is going to drag you back to the former version of you. If this is the first time you're entering one of these 6-month periods where you're going to take enormous action and you're going to completely change who you are, everything about your old life is going to hold on to the old version of you. And in order to separate yourself from that, you are going to have to disappear temporarily. The good news for you is in the future, you won't have to do this. I don't have to disappear because everything about the life that I've built over the last 8 years contributes to the life that I'm trying to build in the future. But for you, if you're just starting out, if this is the first time you've done this, if you're currently living a life that isn't contributing to the future that you want, you are going to have to disappear temporarily whilst you do this. And that means not hanging out with the people that you currently hang out with, not doing any of the things that you currently do, not going to the places that you currently go to, changing almost everything about your life for these next 6 months in order to create that degree of separation and actually turn yourself into the version of you that your future self needs you to be in order to create the future that you want. And rule number 5 is have something to celebrate at the finish line. Just like I would at the end of an Ironman, go out and enjoy a beer or go out and enjoy a meal or have a few days in the destination wherever I am at the end of the race. For you, I want you to book something. I want you to organize something. I want you to do something now. Make a commitment today before you embark on these 6 months of something that you're going to do at the end of the 6 months in order to celebrate the work that you've just done. See, the finish line should motivate you. The goal, chasing after that goal should motivate you. But at the end of the day, regardless of whether you achieve this or not, you're going to be a completely different person at the end of this. And I want you to ingrain that work, ingrain the effort that has gone into these 6 months by celebrating. Don't just be one of these people that gets to the end of this period and just continues going until you're inevitably burnt out. I want you to celebrate. I want you to book a trip, book a holiday, book a weekend away, do something to commemorate the work that you're about to do and commit to that now. And that's it. If you choose to take this seriously, I want you to post the goal that you've got for these next 6 months in the comment section down below, and good luck. I hope this video helps, and I'll see you in the next one.